Before we get into today's episode, here's a look at a show we think you might like.
What is your preferred method of role-playing?
Hey, y'all want to play Dungeons & Dragons? Nerds?
I got into the game exclusively to roleplay.
You remember those browser-based chat rooms? Remember when that was a thing?
I love roleplay, from MMOs to tabletops, to LARPing, to VR chat. It doesn't matter to me, I just love this hobby. And you can join me every week on In and Out of Character, a role players podcast, where I bring on a new guest, whether they be a creator or just a player. And we chat about what got us into role-playing, why it keeps bringing us back, what we love about it, and what we dislike about it. We just sit down and have a conversation. You can find us on your podcaster of choice. Until then, stay in character.
Shadows in the Smoke is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care. Morning, hunters. I would say about a week has passed since we last checked in on the residents of Hargrave House. And in that time, Robert, you can go ahead and clear your permanent condition of voice in your head, as you have had time to recover from the demon that was inside of your body. Now, we have 2 active threats that we're currently working on, which means that the first thing that I do in the day is introduce a brand new threat. This threat is called the Limehouse Lurker. Jenny Johnston, the proprietor of an opium den in Limehouse, tells you a story that has not yet reached Scotland Yard or the papers. 3 people have been found dead in recent days, their bodies completely exsanguinated. The first was a sex worker called Soft Jimmy, found in a dark corner of the opium den. The second was a young mother, Charla Bell, found in an alleyway behind the Limehouse School. And the third was a Chinese sailor, Xiao Donghai, found outside a pub near the Regent's Canal dock, the Dog and Whistle. Jenny, an informal community leader in Limehouse, has been keeping the bodies in her basement. She's hesitant to go to the authorities because she feels it will cause trouble for the small but thriving Chinese immigrant community in the district. She heard that Hargrave House has experience with matters such as this and has asked for your help. I now pose the following question to the hunter with the highest reason, which is Miss Douglas.
That is bonkers.
That's wild.
It's unnatural, honestly.
Baby genius, Miss Douglas. Miss Douglas, Hargrave House knows about the creatures that drink the blood of their victims. They're called vampires. One detail in Jenny's story convinces you this particular vampire has the body of a small child. What is it?
While the victims of most vampires have bite marks at their neck, the 3 victims of this vampire in particular have bite marks on their lower legs.
Now, just because the vampire is physically a child, that doesn't mean it's young. As we all know, vampires never physically age beyond how old they were when they were turned. And an old vampire has to be handled in a very different way than a young one. There are 3 questions for the Limehouse Lurker, but I'm only going to tell you the first one right now because it's another threshold question. This question is simply, is the vampire young or old? And that is a complexity 4. Answering that question either way will lead to the next corresponding question, which will allow you to resolve the threat. I also get to tell you one unique facet of this threat, and this is brand new to the new rules of the Between. If 5 night phases pass before the Limehouse lurker is resolved, other vampires are drawn to the city, either by the novelty of this young vampire or the power of an ancient vampire, and become a reoccurring problem for Hargrave House for the remainder of the campaign. You now have a new keeper reaction: reveal a vampire.
Sweet. Ticking clock.
And let me tell you, the vampires have some excellent names.
Oh, now I just want to meet them.
Kim, will you promise to tell us the names if we don't have them all revealed anyways?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yay.
They're really good. The Limehouse lurker also has a unique mask associated with it. This is called the Mask of the Sun.
Kim,
Yes.
how are we spelling sun?
S-U-N. Well, we are full up on threats, hunters. As a reminder, we have the creature of Cremorne Gardens, which we have determined to be real. And now we are trying to figure out what the creature wants. We have the Spider Silk Seamstress, which has 3 questions associated with it. Any of them could resolve the threat. We have 4 clues for Spider Silk Seamstress currently. And the brand new Limehouse lurker. But that's not all. Before I pass the reins over to you, I'd like to remind you all that you got a mixed success on answering the question concerning the creature of Cremorne Gardens last night. Thus, I get to make your lives a little more complicated.
Uh-oh.
They're already so complicated, though.
A brand new issue of the Illustrated Police News arrives on your doorstep. The front page headline reads, "London in a frenzy over the creature of Cremorne. Fish fiend spotted twice in one night. Is no riverbank safe?" The creature of Cremorne Gardens, already the subject of wild speculation and riverside panic, has plunged the city into full-blown mania after 2 new sightings rocked Chelsea on Saturday night. Witnesses claim the now infamous half-man, half-fish monstrosity emerged from the Thames near Cremorne Gardens just as an eerie, melodic wail rose from the water. Mere minutes later, a similar horror was seen slinking beneath Battersea Bridge, raising the chilling possibility that London faces not just one, but a host of river-dwelling sirens. From East End pubs to Mayfair salons, the city is abuzz. Children sing twisted rhymes about the fishman's call. Fashionable society ladies carry smelling salts near the embankment, and river traffic has slowed to a crawl. The beast, or beasts, have become the talk of every drawing room, dockside tavern, and gentleman's club in London. A Thames boatman declared, "It ain't just a monster now, it's a bloomin' sensation." Authorities maintain their usual silence, but this paper has reported on the creature's escalating appearances for weeks, with crowds now gathering nightly along the river, desperate for a glimpse or a warning song. London teeters on the edge of supernatural hysteria. How many creatures are there? What do they want? And why now? Well, hunters, the day is in your hands to do with as you please.
Before the day, though, I gotta break my fast.
Oh, yes, our new phase.
Our classic phase.
The phase we've added that will be a part of the 2026 edition of the
You can't just skip right through.
The breakfast phase.
If they don't make this a part of the actual game, riot. I'm rioting.
Jason, hit me up if you want to know the rules for the breakfast phase. Okay, fine. The breakfast phase. Proceed.
I don't think it's out of character for Mr. John to be bringing in the morning paper. This is the first time that One Shot has been home since the abduction by the Sedula sisters. So the other hunters have not seen him in the intervening nights, but as one of you is coming down for breakfast, you do see John coming out of the larder holding just a scrap of raw meat that may or may not be bacon. There's blood in his mustache, which is no longer its usual pencil thin, and he's sporting 5 o'clock shadow. There are deep, dark circles under his eyes, which are bloodshot. He's wearing his same suit, but it looks like it has not been changed. There are sweat stains around the armpits. There are tears around the threads of the lapel. He both appears not to have slept in this past week or done much of anything else.
Maisie walks into the kitchen, not expecting One Shot to be there since he hasn't been around. But she doesn't care what he looks like at all. And she just starts shoving his chest, with every shove marking it with a punctuated, "Where were you?"
Out.
You've been gone for days, and we were supposed to be helping Rabbit. And for someone who claimed that they wanted to be my friend, it seems like you really were not around when we needed you to be around to help Rabbit get a literal demon out of him.
Think you got water in your ears there, girl. I never said I wanted to be your friend. I said someday I hope that you would want to be mine.
Oh, well, you're doing a wonderful job at that. Wonderful job.
I've been preoccupied. I can't be returning to my room every night. I've been sleeping in different locales. There's these two women.
There's two women. There's always women, John. There is always women with you.
No.
There are people here who need your assistance because not all of us are strong and big and can carry Rabbit, apparently, except that we have, because we don't need you, actually.
You don't. You seem to be doing just fine without me.
Right.
What do I bring to this here table?
I genuinely do not know.
I'd throw the raw meat on the table.
The table at which Rabbit has been sitting this whole time, ignoring this fight as he stares deeply into the eyes of Ket in a staring contest, and he's attempting to cheat by waving little bits of his breakfast under the cat's nose.
See? He's fine. He's got his magic. You are what you are. Miss Thanero is what she is.
And you are a coward, John, and you abandoned us.
It's not safe here.
Just a little bit of bacon. Just look away, and it's all yours.
At this point, Ina comes down the stairs, sees the scene in front of her. For a moment, there is a whisper of concern that crosses her face, taking in Mr. John's appearance and how tired he is. But all she does, without making eye contact, walks over to him, plucks the paper out of his other hand, and walks over to get her morning cup of coffee. A wall is up. She is having nothing to do with him this morning.
Besides, seems y'all looked real hard for me. All this concern's very convenient.
We went to your room, and sorry that we were busy with trying to get a demonic entity out of Rabbit as presently as possible. You were not there. You did not leave a note. How are we to know where you were?
That took all week, did it? I thought you were the mighty hunters of Hargrave House. Can't even find one man. Besides, I'm not the only one who's out late. Nobody's jumping down your throat, I say to Rabbit.
No, that's true. Hasn't been anyone in my throat in quite some time.
So now we're all just concerned about where a person sleeps. Sorry I couldn't be there for the demon exorcism. I'm sure I would have been of great use to you.
Considering we haven't needed you all week, I find that highly doubtful. And Ina takes her coffee and sets it a little harder than normal down on the table and pulls out a chair and sits down and opens the news article to read more about the creature of Cremorne Gardens. No eye contact, nose in the paper.
Now, I can tell from those headlines that you've been hard at work putting to stop this mystery sea creature.
And what exactly have you been hard at work doing? Fucking your way through London?
I've been staying alive. That's what I do.
And yet you have 3 other fellows who would happily help you should you ask. Are you so proud that you can't ask a single person for an ounce of help when you need it?
Are you so proud you can't look me in the eye when you're talking down to me?
At this point, Ina drops the paper, her eyes flash gold, and she looks right at him and is now having her own staring contest with Mr. John.
Well, serves me right for thinking I could be a part of something.
Yes, it does. Maisie grabs the meat that you threw on the table and stalks out of the room.
I never should have left home. See you around. Like I said, it's not safe here.
Little bit of sausage? Come on.
And on the way out, One Shot looks down at Rabbit, looks over at Ket. There's this deep animal noise that begins in the bottom of his stomach, and he swallows it, wipes his mouth, spits on the floor near the table, and leaves Hargrave House.
After a very tense breakfast, where does the day take you all?
One Shot's going back to Limehouse, if for no other reason than I need to see Philomena and de-drain.
Maisie's going to the larder.
Oh, word.
My love. I'm obsessed. All right.
Work.
I love that. Work.
Well, I have an appointment with Miss Beaumont at her new modiste that I've borrowed from Sylvia Belrose, so I will likely be heading that direction.
I think I'll join One Shot heading towards Limehouse.
By join, just mean like follow.
Oh, no, I will appear at some point along his walk.
Love that.
Then I think I want to start with that scene. I want to start with Mr. John and then eventually Mr. Lloyd heading to Limehouse.
Mr. John is tearing down the streets, looking warily, eyes darting at every passerby, assessing them for various threats, especially women, and especially women walking in pairs. But nobody is safe from his scrutiny. He looks to all the world a madman. But he is heading for Limehouse and for the Songbirds of Shanghai show.
John hears a voice in his ear, unexpectedly because he is looking around so paranoid. So, what was all the fighting really about then?
Where were you all?
Where were we? Oh, you know. London mostly, I think.
You think? I've been gone for a week and running from den to warren, trying to keep my neck. London's not that big a city. You've been distracted.
Distracted is a word for it. I like to think of it as being open to experiences. Rabbit starts walking ahead of Mr. John a little bit and follows behind a fairly well-dressed man who surely won't be going the same way that we are for very long, and just surreptitiously slides his hand into a pocket, pulls something out, sticks it back into his own pocket, and jumps back to join Mr. John.
New experiences. That way you let a demon inside your own flesh.
Oh, I don't know about that. That was a smart choice, I think. I think I've been making too many smart choices recently and not enough right ones. And he pulls out from the pocket that he had stuck whatever bills that he had stolen out of the man's pocket, and a couple moths fly out.
One Shot takes that wrist and looks at the scar. Is there any mark remaining?
Yes, actually, I would say that there is a pale outline as though it is well-healed scar tissue, but it is in the shape of the spiky, foreign, odd writing that was on his arm at one point.
John looks down at that, looks back up at Rabbit. You're like 100 pounds soaking wet, right?
Yep, small man.
With his free hand, John grabs you by the neck, wheels you around and pushes you up against a wall, and grabs your cuff of your collar, and holding you against the stone says, "There are 2 women in that house that don't want nothing to do with me, and they've both sworn to me that they don't need my protection, but they're gonna get it anyway. You ever keep a secret like this that could jeopardize them, if you treat them like they're moths and lead them to flame, I will personally set you on fire. Do you understand me?"
That's funny. You, talking about keeping secrets.
I've shared with you everything you need to know. I'm not the only one keeping late nights.
Late nights are when the most interesting things happen, in my experience. It's when we dream the deepest, when we're the closest to that other realm.
You ain't been dreaming, boy.
More than you would think.
There's something about you that unsettles me, more so than usual.
And the sort of dreaminess that Rabbit has had, the sort of lackadaisical attitude, drains out of his face in a moment and just steelily stares into Mr. John's eyes. Good. I should. Only if you do something wrong, though. I have no reason to frighten you at the moment.
I saw you when I was in the other place. You appeared to me.
I go a lot of places, not exactly sure where you're talking about.
Where you been going lately?
Oh, here and there, hither and yon.
Morgan.
I've been trying to find my way back to one place where I was before, but those doors aren't quite open yet. I can see them, though. For the first time in a long time, I can see the doors.
To another world?
To a better world.
A while back, a fella said something to me along those lines, that there are other worlds, and that he's seen them. It was around here. I think the 3 of us should have a chat.
Always happy to meet new friends.
I'd like to meet one of yours.
No, my friends are not nice people. In fact, very few of them are actually people.
I let him down from against the wall, adjust his waistcoat, give him a knowing nod.
And Morgan hands back Mr. John's billfold that he stole from him while he was up against the wall.
Keep it. I got no use for those on this side of the ocean.
Let's go to the larder.
Yay.
I assume that you are invoking the unlocked move from the larder. Let's go ahead and give it a read. Whenever you succumb to the sudden urge to consume raw flesh in the larder, you draw the attention of the pagan swine god Mok, whose influence is still felt here long after the reckless hunter who venerated him was banished from Hargrave House. Roll with sensitivity. If the flesh belonged to a humanoid creature, roll with advantage. So before we get dice on the table, I just want to hear what this scene is.
Maisie leaves the kitchen, having taken that bit of whatever John was eating, and storms down into the larder in a huff. She's so angry, she is so tired, and she's just like angrily eating things. She's eating whatever this piece of meat was. She's reaching into her fish tank and pulling out like a shrimp. She is just cramming like so many different things. And then she goes to the wall and pulls out what she thinks is a tin of kippers and opens it and just starts shoveling them into her mouth. And it is a little too late before she realizes that this is a tin of actual human fingers. And she's chewing on it. She's like, there's the bones in this are way too big to be a fish. Oh, no. Oh, delicately puts that tin down. Why do we have these things in the larder? Who is eating the fingers? I'm eating the fingers. Oh, Lord, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. Proceeds to like swirl some salt water in her mouth and like spit it back into the tank.
First of all, I'm so proud of you. You went there.
I've been planning this for so long. The minute that was described, I was like, aha.
That was like one of the larder prompts. I love that. T manifested that.
I didn't know anybody would go for the strange delights.
Miss Douglas, as you are muttering to yourself and trying to remove the taste of human flesh from your lips, you begin to hear this low, rumbling laughter coming from a pile of raw meat on one of the shelves in Hargrave House's larder. Go ahead and roll with sensitivity and roll with advantage.
Please, God, please be good to me. That is going to be a 10 plus 2, a 12.
All right, Natalia. So on a 10 plus, Mock reveals secrets in the meat. Ask the keeper for a clue. And you are sated for now. You may clear an appropriate condition. What condition are you interested in clearing here?
I feel like hesitant is the one that's giving me the most trouble.
Yeah, you can go ahead and clear hesitance.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm curious to know, what threat are you interested in getting a clue for?
I mean, I feel like Maisie is constantly Creature of Cremorne Gardens on mind.
Let us go now to Savile Row. Miss Thanero, first of all, what are we wearing today?
Knowing that she's going for information and knowing that this seamstress is making such a splash in the fashion scene, Ina has gone all out today. She is wearing a structured walking gown in deep plum purple moire silk. The crinoline is unusually angular, its pleats edged with metallic thread mimicking owl feathers. At the bodice, a corsage of olive leaves cast in bronze spirals over her heart, paired with a collar stiff. Beneath the skirt, glimpses of storm gray satin. Her hat is a towering sculptural piece veiled in translucent silk with a single sharp Gorgon cameo at the brim. She is also wearing the string of pearls in lieu of her normal gold cord that she was given by Maisie.
Miss Thanero, you arrive at Mistress Beaumont's shop. You see the veiled windows, the closed door, that silver plaque that reads by appointment only.
Ina walks up to the door, not wanting to be too aggressive as she's coming to this appointment, and knocks 3 times on the door.
The door opens slowly of its own accord, and you step inside. This is a very luxurious, well-lit space. While the windows have been covered in scarves and veils, all the light here is this beautiful candlelight flickering off of colored glass and mirrors that are all about this space. We see mannequins that are wearing gowns that seem impossibly beautiful and impossibly crafted. You've never seen such fine clothes. Clothes that you could have only dreamed of. In fact, clothes that you may perhaps have dreamed of.
Taking all of this in, Ina walks over to a gown that is the most beautiful blend of whites and grays. It looks as if it's been spun from storm clouds. And as she runs her hands through it, it almost looks like the clouds curl around her fingers as she caresses this garment.
Miss Thanero, Mistress Beaumont emerges from her private workshop. This woman of captivating beauty, wearing layers of fine silk veils and scarves and gowns. She is almost cocooned in finery. Do I have the honor of entertaining Miss Sylvia Belrose?
Unfortunately, my very good friend Sylvia has taken ill, but we didn't want to waste your time, and I've been trying to get an appointment, so Sylvia lent me hers.
Oh, what terrible luck for dear Sylvia.
She is absolutely devastated.
Well, miss, I'm afraid that you've caught me on my back foot. I had prepared a gown made for Sylvia Belrose. I hope you won't mind trying it on nonetheless.
I would be happy to oblige, anything to see your masterful craftsmanship.
Mistress Beaumont wheels out a mannequin wearing a very fine gown. I have a paint the scene for all of you. As Miss Thanero eyes this gown, what details in its construction inform us that this gown was made for none other than Miss Thanero?
The bottom edges of the dress shift like water and are the color of the sea, very much like the painting that was made of Ina that serves her cult.
While it has a lot of lace details, as dresses of this period would, if you look closer, what appears to at first be floral lace is actually the branches and fruits of olive trees.
There are structured shoulders, almost like epaulets in their rigidity, and embroidered into both of them are women at looms, and they meet together in the back as the threads from the looms join to become the legs of a spider.
And instead of a traditional fabric corset, there is instead a gold armored piece that is immaculately sculpted to show off all of the wonderful skin one might see if they had seen Ina without her clothing.
I dare say, my dear, I believe this suits you better than it would Miss Sylvia Belrose.
Yes, it does seem that you somehow knew that this was going to be for me, and that I was going to be gracing your door today instead of my dear friend, Miss Belrose.
Mistress, it is my duty to anticipate my client's every need.
And you are very skilled.
I am the best.
Yes, it appears you do think so. Ina walks over and starts to gently tug at this garment, almost as if she is testing it for the quality of the sewing.
I trust you can find no fault in its construction.
Ina goes around to the back and takes in this connection between these two stories at the shoulders. It does seem remarkable. One might say better than the gods' work themselves.
You flatter me, mistress, but I dare say you might be right.
It's lovely to see you taking pride in your work. But one must be careful. Humility is always just around the corner.
Darling, the people I dress are far too fabulous to be humble. Come, let's see you in it.
Ina starts to take off what she's wearing. She's not modest in this moment. She knows what's underneath here, and all of the windows are blocked off anyway. And even if they weren't, she still wouldn't care. So she just starts to take everything off and gets down to her bare essentials and stands there, looks Miss Beaumont in the eyes and says, "Whenever you're ready."
Mistress Beaumont takes the garment off of the mannequin and begins to dress you, almost kind of reverently, like she's touching a priceless statue.
So tell me, where did you practice this magnificent skill before you came to London?
I'm afraid that's my secret, mistress. I trained in far-off places.
Well, surely your reputation must carry, given how much coverage you're receiving for your work here in all of the papers.
Well, I do make it a point to introduce myself to the best people, the most interesting, the most beautiful, she says as she's fastening the gown about you.
I think beauty is a very, very important thing. Probably the most important thing to look out for in who you decide to take on as clientele. Naturally, you wouldn't want to be dressing someone from, say, Limehouse or otherwise.
I offer more than beauty, mistress. I offer transformation. I ask you, dear, if you could be the person you always dreamed of, who would you be?
Well, dear, I think that's a secret that I'll be keeping to myself. You seem to have yours, do you not?
All right. I won't press Miss Thanero.
Ina turns towards one of the mirrors, inspecting how immaculate this fit is. Now, this was supposed to be for Sylvia, but I fear I simply must have it.
I wouldn't trouble yourself with Miss Belle Rose. It was made for you, dear.
How much do I owe you then?
Consider it my gift to you. You would honor me by wearing it. To have someone as beautiful as you wearing the work of the finest weaver.
I think as they are going through this fitting, they fall into, I wouldn't say a comfortable silence, but a very professional, respectful moment of quiet. And Ina starts to look around to see if maybe she can find anything of Richard Harlow's maybe left here, because obviously she's aware that the two were seeing each other. Potentially anything that might give a clue as to why she is here in London.
This sounds like a information move with reason, please.
I feel in this moment, as I'm about to do this roll, Ina walks over to her clothing as it's laid out while she's wearing this other outfit and reaches into her pocket and touches one of these coins from a forgotten civilization, and as she's holding it is going to give it to Mistress Beaumont as a form of payment, but also as an acknowledgement. And I'm going to then take this roll with advantage.
Absolutely. Mark that personal quarters item.
I would love to. That is a 10 minus 1 is a 9.
Let's return to Mr. Lloyd and Mr. John. So, as a result of the vulnerable move, both of you can clear conditions, should you wish to.
I wish to.
What would you like to clear?
After that confrontation and feeling now like he has something to fight for instead of just run from, Mr. John has got a little bit more pep in his step and is no longer feeling drained.
And after having spent the morning pickpocketing, Rabbit is not feeling quite so conspicuous.
Makes sense to me. And the two of you get to give me a clue. It can be for any of the active threats, as long as it does not definitively answer a question.
So I had a thought, because I specifically said I took your billfold out of your pocket.
Yeah.
What if there's some remnant, some token left over from your evening with the Sandula sisters in that wallet?
That's so funny. I was thinking as I was pulling my hands away from your waistcoat, I would see like some sort of leftover from your time with Miss Beaumont.
What if a sewing needle made of electrum or some other rare metal ended up in Mr. John's pocket?
We were talking about dreams so much. What if it's a sewing needle made from a nightmare?
Okay, yeah. A sewing needle made out of a nightmare.
Lovely. All right. What about the rest of your day?
Now that Rabbit is tailing Mr. John, he's not feeling too inclined about going to see Philomena anymore. So turning the bent to the investigation and going to Jenny Johnston's opium den and ask her about these murders firsthand. But on the way, no longer looking at everybody as a potential threat, but keeping an eye out for any glints of gold. Trying to see if I can't spy the man in the sun mask.
Mr. Lloyd, are you tagging along?
Absolutely. Morgan is still very much in his own little dream world, only partially in London at the moment. He is tagging along with One Shot, but he's doing so in a weaving, he'll disappear for a moment into the crowd and then reappear. It's almost as though he just coincidentally happens to be going to the same place that One Shot is, not actually following him.
All right, off to the opium den you go. I'd like to return to Hargrave House itself. Miss Douglas, that laughing sound grows louder, and this pile of meat in the larder begins to congeal together, forming into the visage of this enormous boar made out of raw meat. This entity looks at you with these blazing yellow eyes. How did it taste, little piglet?
The fingers?
Yes, child.
I won't lie, it was better than I thought it was going to be. It was more so the surprise of it being a finger. But, you know, all canned goods taste about the same. Do you also live in the house? Are you also a hunter? And do you just live in the larder?
I am everywhere where there is hunger, where there is the hunter and the hunted. There was a worshipper of mine who lived here once. Foolish hunters thought they could cast him out and cast me out, but I remain. And you have called me, little piglet. Lucky you. Lucky you that you are joining me, happy, feeding at the breast of the great he-sow.
The who?
You stand before Mock, child. You have called him to you with your delicious act. Ordinarily, when I am called, I ask a task of my little piglets, but Mock smiles on you today, child. Tell me, what is it you would ask of me?
Well, first off, my name is Maisie. It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to our home. Glad to have you.
Maisie.
I guess, I don't know. Well, we're working on a lot of different investigations in the house. I don't know if you're aware of them. Did you just come into consciousness now, or is this sort of like a you're always around sort of situation and you know what we're doing?
Your senses are overwhelmed with the smell of rotting meat, and this enormous boar head grows larger, now taking up one entire wall of the larder. Do not insult me, child. I am older than this world.
Right, I'm so sorry. That was not my intention. I was just curious. I'm so sorry. How can I help you? Oh, mighty Mock.
Do you wish to worship, child?
What would that entail exactly?
An offering?
Could you be more specific?
I would ask of my worshippers a sacrifice of riches, status, or blood.
Right, well, I mean, she just reaches, like, into the tank and pulls out a fish and just sort of, like, bursts it open and the blood spills out onto the floor. And she's like, there you are.
Yours, little piglet.
Oh, my blood. No, that's going to stay inside of me. Thank you very much.
You amuse me, Maisie. You will not always have my goodwill, but today I come bringing a gift. This enormous pig thing opens its mouth. Reach inside, child.
All right. Maisie, no longer hesitant, full arm, straight into its mouth.
You reach in, like, to your shoulder, and you feel something small and smooth and hard at the back of this swine god's throat. And when you pull it out, it is a large, flawless pearl.
Is this for me? How did you know?
It is for you, but not from me. It is a gift from one that swims and sings in the Thames.
Shadows in the Smoke is a Kitten Marlowe production. This episode was edited and produced by Kim Dalton and featured a theme song by Jake Pierle. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, an exclusive behind-the-scenes show, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join Aaron Neslin and all of our incredible Kitten Marlowe patrons in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening.